Hello, once again. This is Brian. I run turfmechanic.com and the Turf Mechanic YouTube channel, the channel you're watching right now. I've done a bunch of lawnmower comparison videos over the past couple months. I focus 100% of my energy, at least these days, on the battery-powered market and on the high end of the battery-powered market. I've got a very monster video coming out very soon where I go into all of the strongest battery-powered lawnmowers, and I really compare them all at a granular level. I've got a matching page on my website that kind of goes into a little bit more structured display detail. Make sure to check that out. There will be links below. You can also just Google it, just Turf Mechanic, strongest battery mowers. You'll probably find it. Today I want to talk about two very specific lawnmowers. I've got the SunJoe 100V, what is it, the 100V Ion, I don't know what the model number is, I can't ever remember it, but it's the 100V SunJoe battery mower, and I've got the 80V Greenworks Pro. Now, both of these are very, very similar, like crazy similar. This one, retail price is a little over $100 more than this one, assuming you get the kit with the battery that's like the biggest battery. Both of these are running 5 amp hour batteries. It's the biggest ones that they offer. They're both high voltage, 80V 100. There's really virtually nothing higher than that. There's 120 volt from Yard Force and an 82 from Snapper. Everything else is lower. Voltage is high. Amp hours is very good for such a high voltage machine. But these things are crazy similar. $100 more, you get a fancier arm handlebar area. You get slightly less fancier here for $100 less. Other than that, cutting width, both of these are called 21-inch decks. But both of them have cutting widths that are, this is exactly like the blade is 20 inches. And this blade, I've measured it at 19 7/8. So basically the cutting width is almost identical. What was I going to say? Both of them have the bar for self-propelled, and they both go when it's off. You can use both of these as push mowers if you want to. They both have stated RPM, like the no load RPM speeds of 2800, which is pretty standard for battery mowers. Both of them will rev up really hard when needed. It's not advertised what the rev up, what the rev rate is when extra power is needed. But I can feel it in both of them. This is my newest mower. I haven't owned this one nearly as long as this one, but I've used it on a very thick patch of grass. Used it on regular stuff, but I've used it on a really thick patch. You can probably see that in an overlay right now. This thing went through really tall, weedy field grass easy. Whenever it needed to, it revved up hard and it went right through it. It never bogged down. It performed very, very well, which is awesome because this does the exact same thing. I'm generally kind of thinking of this one as my strongest one. Whenever I need to go through something hard, this one gets through it every time better than the others. This did great. I'd like to really find something that can bog this down. So if I can, I'll throw up a video later, an update. But strength-wise, both of these are very, very strong. They have both the same rev rate. They're very expensive. This one I bought for about $640-ish. This one I bought on sale for a little under $6, but its normal retail is somewhere in the mid-7s. So, shop sales, you can get good deals. What I do like about both of these, they've got you can do the self or you can do the push. But what's really cool about the SunJoe model, and let me flip it around here, is their self-propelled bar extends up over here, but not over here. And that's important because as you're going, you get to the end of a row, you can let go there, but you know, you've still got that up. I don't know, it's just easier to turn on and off the self-propelled whenever you want to. Other points of similarities, these are similar in weight. This is probably about 5 pounds heavier, somewhere in the 68 pound range, depending on the size battery you've got in there. This is more of like the 63 pound range, depending on the battery. You're not really gonna feel much of a difference. What I will say, however, you will find differences in the undersides. There's a tree behind me. So on the undersides, on SunJoe, you've got this blade, which is a very simple designed blade. I mean, there's nothing special about this blade, and it's fairly thin and quite flexible. Now, I don't like these flexible blades because sometimes when you hit thick grass, not necessarily thick weeds, but thick turf, sometimes it wants to kind of dig in and you'll end up getting these little circles in the ground. I haven't seen that with this yet, but I do see that with mowers with these flexible blades. Over here, however, this blade is much thicker. Still, you've got a little bit of flex to it, but it's not nearly as much as that one over there. This one, I'm gonna just say it feels stronger all the time, probably because this blade is just a meatier blade. Again, there's nothing really fancy about it. It's not a mulching blade. It's not like a high lift or suction blade, but it just works. There are some mowers that I have that have thicker, stronger blades. Toro comes to mind. Theirs is like just the meatiest blade of them all. And then of course Ego's got their crisscross select cut blade, which is really cool. It really does a great job at mulching. These are more for like just general use and power. But oh, I was gonna say this. If you pull this around, both of these wheels spin well. This, however, I really got to clean this out. But this, the mulch plug, is really on there good. Like you can mow with it, and at the end of the day, you don't really have stuff coming out the back of the mulch plug that you don't want. Like it really plugs it well. Whereas this, there's lots of stuff coming out. And not only that, but the side discharge chute, I've got grass just coming out of it. It doesn't plug very well. This plugs really good. Like it's just clean to use. I use it on a lot of stuff and it comes back, and I've got some gunk under there that I need to scrape out. But I don't have tons of extra grass clippings just collecting in little chambers throughout it. That's nice because I don't want to have to sit there and clean up grass clippings all over my yard and garage and whatnot just because they're falling out of little crevices. The battery compartment, this is interesting. Being one of the most expensive battery mowers out there, I don't like this battery compartment. It won't open more than that, which means if you want to get the battery in or out, you kind of got to be careful to not push that too high up. It's actually a little bit, got to be a little bit careful doing it. You've got this little clip, this little safety clip, which you can undo, which is the same over here in Greenworks. But this whole thing is plastic, and although you can see through and you can see the battery light, you can't actually see how much battery is left while you're mowing, which makes the whole clearness of this pointless. And it ends up baking the battery. So I pull this out right now, it's like 85 degrees out here. The battery feels blazing hot just sitting in here. It's the same with this, but it's not as dramatic. You got this tiny little like window right here that you can see in and basically tell that a battery's there, but you can't see how the charge is. So it's kind of pointless. Now it is a little bit, I still wish that this would like fold over more, but it feels more sturdy than that. Anyway, the battery in here, since there's more hard plastic covering it, there's less like clear plastic for that sunlight to go through. The battery doesn't feel quite as hot as it does just sitting out in the sun. When it comes to creature comforts, storage and folding, you've got to undo these guys, fold that over, and then pull this out and fold the thing down. You do have this little tiny little stand right here, so it will store vertically, but it's nothing like the SunJoe. This guy is awesome. So when it comes to storage, boom, man, I mean, that is just easy and nice. It's just nice. It kind of sits back a little bit more than I'd like, although I am on a hill. But if vertical storage is important, and just ease of use, that is up there. That's probably the easiest one of them all. Ego, they've got this fancy style thing, but this is easier to use. This is the easiest one that I know of to fold up and stand. It just is crazy easy. I also really like this speed dial. So this is a dial that you can spin, and that's fast and that's slow. Fast is also one of the fastest self-propelled speeds of any of them. I'd have to put it side by side with the Toro. The Toro's got another really fast self-propelled max speed, but I think this one's faster. This one is normal to fast. There's also a delay in the way it starts. I never liked that delay, and I still don't, but I have been getting used to it. But man, this one, it just goes. So if you're doing a lot of mowing, I think that like self-propelled quickness makes a big difference. I mean, I do a lot of mowing, and I can really tell because that delay, that drag is annoying with this. I think this one is going to be great for the long term when it comes to that self-propelled and the speed of which that it moves. It's got the power to perform at top speed. So you're probably going to finish mowing with this mower faster than just about any other one, unless you get something with like a 25-inch deck. Both of these have similar up and down, you know, 1 through 7. It's about the same height range. You've got a bar here to do it, which is one of the easiest bars of any mower I have to use. SunJoe's is right there. I think this mower actually goes lower, like lower to the ground than any of the other battery mowers that I have too. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but pretty sure it's somewhere in like the 1 1/8 range. So it's a little bit lower than all the others. Also really easy to use, but what I don't like, let me get this straight on. This handle is on the outside, like almost a solid inch on the outside of the back wheel, which means you're gonna snag that on fences and trees and shrubs and whatever. Like it's always gonna be snagging as you're going forward and back. And then over here on this side, this fold-up lever also sticks out maybe 1/2 inch or so, which means you're going to be snagging on this side. So basically this machine is going to be snagging, and it does snag as you go up along the line of fences or whatever it is you're going up the line of. This, however, the bar is on the inside of the wheel, and over here you've got the knob. Both of these are still on the inside of the wheel. This rarely snags on anything as I go by it, which is great. Generally speaking, I think both of these mowers are amazing mowers. These are some of my favorite ones. I think I like this one better. For one, your average price on this is going to be a little bit lower. I have no doubts about its power. It will fold up and stand vertically if you need it to. It's not as easy to do as that one. And its forward momentum and self-propelled is fast enough. I don't need to be running. If I do want speed, then yeah, go for this, but I don't need to be going so fast. So this is great. I do really like, that SunJoe has this self-propelled bar contour. This doesn't have it, but you can really easily get used to it. And another thing too is when you're not using the self-propelled bar, look how far away my hand is from that self-propelled bar. I'm never hitting it. Conversely, on SunJoe, I'm either using the bar or I let go of it, and look at that. I'm like on it. There's no way that I can use this hand without touching the thing. So most of the time with these self-propelleds, you're going to be using the self-propelled, but every now and then you let go of the self-propelled and you need to move it around. And as you're doing this, it's pressing up against your arm. I have a feeling that I'm either going to hurt. I'm going to like slightly bruise my wrist, but I have a feeling I might start damaging this bar if I use it wrong or bend it or something on accident. So I think that there's more parts to this mower that could fail. These bars, this thing right here, the blade itself underneath is flexible. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want to hit a rock and snap it. It is pretty strong though. So this is one of the tougher decks of all of them that I've seen. But I also dislike the debris that leaks out of it. So if I were to buy one of these two mowers, I would probably buy this one over the SunJoe. However, this is it's a pretty machine. Like, it's beautiful. I like it. I like it quite a bit. I would buy this one for first, and then I'd buy that one. Like, for instance, if this is going back order and this one wasn't, just get this. It's fine. But all things said and done, everything equal, I think this is a better buy. It's probably better worth your money. You're going to be happy with it. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Make sure to check out some of the other videos I've compared to this to all of the other top of the line models. Make sure to look at the strongest list. I just kind of ramble and talk about these mowers. In the strong video, like the biggest, strongest one where I have all 7 of them lined up, you're going to see a lot of detail, really close-ups, and I think you'll find it pretty helpful and interesting. Find the link to it. It's down below, probably either in the comments or the description, or just Google it. You'll find it. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the rest of your mowing season. You cutting the grass? Yeah? Yeah. Good job, buddy.
The grass is green.
Yeah.